Happy lunchtime, everyone. Hope you all can hear me well. My name is Maurice Stewart, and I am the Director of Alumni Engagement and Inclusive Excellence with the UC Alumni Association. And I want to welcome you all to our virtual Q&A. So the African American Alumni Affiliate and the College of Allied Health Sciences is excited to have you join us for this special event featuring four accomplished UC alumni. Actually, five if you count our moderator as well. And you're going to learn about their journeys as social workers and how their work is leading the way. This event is in celebration of Allied Health Sciences Week. So, and as a FYI, this program is a part of the Alumni Success Series featuring UC alumni with subject matter expertise on a variety of topics. The information provided within this program is for informational purposes only and does not constitute legal, medical, financial, investment, tax, or any other form of advice. The opinions, the viewpoints, and beliefs expressed belong to the presenters alone and are not those of the University of Cincinnati Alumni Association, UC Foundation, UC, or UC Health. The information is provided as is. No representations are made that the content is error-free, and any reliance or actions taken or not taken based on the information contained in this program is solely at your own risk. And so with that, I'd like to introduce you to our moderator, Ashley Glass. Please welcome Ashley Glass. Ashley is a 2011 graduate of the College of Education, Criminal Justice, and Human Services. She is the CEO of Black Women Cultivating Change, a local mental health nonprofit she founded in 2023. She founded a local nonprofit she founded. And in 2023, she was honored as a distinguished alumna by CECH and serves on the executive committee of the African American Alumni Affiliate. Please join me in welcoming Ashley. And I would also like to welcome our panelists. First, I'm gonna start with Sean Bostic. Sean is a passionate community advocate with 15 years of experience supporting families and individuals with disabilities. As a family engagement coordinator at Hamilton County Developmental and Disability Services, he helps navigate the complexities of disability-related services. Sean holds a master's degree in social work from UC. And second, I'd like to welcome Robert Bruce. Robert is a dedicated social worker with 26 years of experience working with young people in foster care. As an independent living manager at Choices, he empowers individuals to achieve their goals and transition successfully into adulthood. And Robert holds a bachelor's degree in social work from UC. Then we have Belinda Carson. She is a dedicated social worker with over 20 years of experience working with young people and adults. As a resource coordinator at Withrow University High School, she creates partnerships to support students and their families. Belinda is also the Girls to Women advisor, empowering young women through leadership development and mentorship. She holds a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and a master's degree in social work from UC. And, and then I have Karen Hipsher. Karen, I'm sorry, one moment. My apologies about that delay. Karen is a seasoned social worker with 32 years of experience in as a medical social worker, hospice care, and behavioral health. She currently serves as a behavioral health care manager at TriHealth, providing support and counseling to patients with depression and anxiety. Karen holds a bachelor's and master's degree in social work from UC. So with that, I would like to pass it on to Ashley to take us away.
All right. Thank you so much, Maurice, and welcome everyone. We have some heavy hitters today here on the panel, and so appreciative for you all to come and share your wisdom, experience, and knowledge with the community today. So just want to thank you all for joining again, and we will go ahead and get started with the questions. First question, and we can just go around for all of you is, can you tell us a little bit about your UC story? So why did you come to UC? Kind of what was your experience as a student? And Robert, you're the first person on my screen, so if you want to go first.
Yeah, sure. My experience at UC was fantastic. I kind of entered and as an adult, so I was like 30 when I started at UC, and And so it was really cool. I learned a tremendous amount. I was already in the field as a paraprofessional, and so I came to get my bachelor's degree and to become a licensed social worker. And so I just remember all the fantastic courses that just opened my mind to a different kind of social work and really opened my mind to think of it differently than I had. I really enjoyed my HBSE classes and to be honest, my favorite class at UC um, was my research class, which I think everybody hated but me. But that was a really good experience at UC.
So thanks so much, Robert. I'll pass it over to you, Belinda.
Good morning or good afternoon. I would say that my experience was it was good as well. I got my bachelor's degree in criminal justice from UC, and I came from Cincinnati State. So I did 2 years at Cincinnati State and I transferred to UC. And so I was a sophomore when I got there. And I would say my undergrad was a little different. I was working two jobs and I would say I was doing a little bit too much. So I was working two jobs as well as going to school full time. So I didn't really get to experience the college life. That I would say that would be one regret that I did. I was just trying to be an adult and trying to move I was trying to move a little different. And then once I graduated, I was in the field, and then I decided to go back to get my master's degree 3 years later, and I kind of experienced more of the college life. I had a lot of college students and classmates who were going back getting their master's degree and just learning about their experience and just being on a campus a little bit more. I enjoyed that a little bit more.
Awesome. Thank you, Belinda. Next, I have Sean.
Uh, it was a great experience going to UC for grad school. I was kind of nervous about it because my undergrad was at Central State University, and when you go to a HBCU, it's very nurturing. And so, and I was working full time and married with a child, and so a new baby at that too. I had a new baby. He was born that year when I started UC for grad school, and so it was interesting. I didn't have the full-fledged experience as someone who probably went to UC such as yourself for undergrad, but it was a great experience in the sense of I had great support from the professors. I remember I Dr. Wheeler is her name. I remember I had like a 87 in her class, and I was like, "Can I do some extra credit so I can get an A?" And she gave me that opportunity. She afforded me that opportunity to do some extra credit so I can get an A. So I would say that my experience was really positive. It kind of mirrored what I experienced at Central State in the sense of being really supported by the School of Social Work and the various professionals within it. And I can even say, even to this day, I still have a bond and connection with those professors. So it was a great experience for me.
So thank you, Sean. And Karen, we'd like to hear from you.
All right. So I came to the associate program of social sciences as a 31-year-old. I had flunked out of the College of Education 25 years prior. So I came back as an adult student, got my associate degree, bachelor's degree, and master's degree, 6 years straight, full time. So I was immersed in the School of Social Work, and it was kind of a great time. We had a black, I guess he was director, Dr. Jackson, black staff. It was a good program, and believe it or not, during that time, the National Association of Black Social Workers was very active. So we had a chapter on campus. We were very involved in social justice and just a good experience. And I have connections that I'm still connected with. So I started in 1988 and finished in 1994.
So thank you so much. My next question for you all will be about the kind of the Black identity in the social work profession. So what challenges or obstacles have you faced as a social worker, and how have you overcome them, specifically as a Black professional? And I will start with Sean this time.
Okay. I'll say that being a Black social worker, maybe the struggles maybe is sometimes when you're working with the community in general, the general population, I think that some may believe that you're not as capable or as competent. And so what I learned is that you have to really put your best foot forward and demonstrate that you do have the skills and the qualities and of being a great social worker. And like you have to go over and beyond. And it's just it saddens me when I think about it because when they see a Black person, it's an automatic assumption that they may not be as competent. They may not be able to get the job done for me or whatever I'm requesting from them. They may not be able to effectively deliver, and it's not true at all. I think because we are African American people, and many of us do come from a background with a minimal struggle. I'll say it varies, right? I think that we're better connected and truly understand the disparities that the community deals with. And so I think we're well qualified to address these concerns, but it's still, it's sad that some people within the general population may believe that we're not as competent.
Thank you so much, Sean. Belinda, would you like to weigh in on that question?
I would say that I started off working for Hamilton County Juvenile Court, and then I transitioned to working with severely mentally ill adults, and I was working in Kentucky. So by me being so young, working over in Kentucky, I was working with severely mentally ill adults. I was getting backlash about not really knowing anything. And they were saying that I was so young that I haven't been through life. I had no wisdom. I don't have the experience that they had. And so and then they just kept saying, you just have book knowledge. You just have book knowledge. How can you help me? So it was a struggle trying to establish rapport, to get them to open up to me, and just, being caring and having empathy is what draw them into me, where I was able to, do my job, and I was able to get their trust in order to help them in the areas that they're lack. And after I say like a few months, I was like in there and I was rolling. But first getting in there and trying to build that trust, especially with adults. Adults are so stuck in their own ways, and then you have this young college Black African American woman coming to tell them that, writing goals for them to work on, and me trying to tell them the things in areas that they need to focus on in order to get them out of the bind. They just didn't want to listen to a young individual.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Belinda. Karen, did you have anything that you would like to add?
Well, I came into the healthcare field, and there are or were few African American staff members and peers. So I had to assimilate. I assimilated into the medical field, I assimilated into the social work profession. And, when you have 50 people in the room and there's one of me, it still feels different. So, I feel connected to my community, and I've always felt connected to my community. So if there was a resource or a need, I have connections with people that I touch base with all the time. But I had to assimilate and make myself present.
Thank you, Karen. And then Robert, how about you?
I think Sean hit the nail on the head when he was just talking about overcoming obstacles and the different stigmas and stereotypes that are out there about what we can do as a people in professional settings and I really struggled with feeling like I had to prove myself uh, just by showing up and so but there are also challenges navigating the different systems throughout child welfare, whether it's juvenile court, whether it's mental health, whether it's um, the adult court systems and things, and just learning to fit into those systems and kind of break down some of those walls. And that took some years, to be honest with you. And it really did take time to develop a reputation that you then, when you walk into a court setting or you walk into a juvenile court hearing, that you're taken seriously. And so I think Sean really said it eloquently, and I think it's a struggle still today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. For our next question, we are going to kind of touch on the need for Black social workers. So, and I will start with Miss Karen, you first on this one. So, can you all elaborate on why it's so important for, Black representation in this field specifically?
Okay. For me personally, COVID really drove it home for me. I wanted to talk to a therapist. I wanted to talk to someone who looked like me, who understood some of my life experiences, and there weren't any. I ended up having therapy with a young white female who just did not know part of my struggle. And now we have a situation post-COVID where there are so many needs in our community, from youth all the way through our senior population, and we don't have enough providers. Not just African American providers, we don't have enough providers, period. But when we want to talk to somebody who looks like us, who has some professional knowledge, I want to find that person. I want to find that African American provider.
Thank you. Belinda, how about you?
I think it's important, especially because we can relate to one another. By me working in a high school and working with the adolescents, they come to me and they say that, they have been referred for mental health services, but it's not an African American person. And they say, how can I speak to them? And they don't know my struggles. They don't know what I go through when I'm at home, my lifestyle. They can't relate to me. And I think it's important to have individuals that you can relate to, where they can give, they can give some positive feedback and a different type of empathy, because they know where you're coming from. They experience the type of experience that you have. And if they haven't, they have family members who have. And so that you're able to bring down your guards, and you're able to open up more to get to some of the center of your problems that you're dealing with.
Thank you. Robert? Anything what you want to add?
Yeah, for sure. I just think it's significant to not just being African American, but being an African American male practicing social work here is a really big deal. I've had an opportunity to work with a bunch of young people that I just remember walking in the door to a young man at a high school that was referred to our program, and then he just saw me and he said, "You're my social worker?" And I said, "Yeah." And his whole face just changed. He just let this giant sigh of relief and just kind of smiled at me. And it just made me laugh. But he was just so appreciative that there was somebody that was going to hear his story that looked like him and that kind of could relate to some of the challenges and things that he has faced. And throughout my experience here, especially working in Hamilton County and working with young people that are aging out of foster care. So many of those young adults are African American men, and just going into a room and just saying, like, brother, I feel you. I hear you loud and clear. Let's go. And has just been, sometimes it seems healing to them. I'm very grateful for that. I thank God that for that opportunity that I'm able to bridge gaps and help young people be heard.
Absolutely. Thank you. And then Sean.
It's what everyone said is perfect, is spot on. It's just cultural competence is important, and we have to make sure that representation is there. So I think that within the African American community, what I've heard within my time period of working with families is how they felt judged by the majority, I say, and they feel like you can't relate to them, and you come up with these negative thoughts about them, and so when they work with someone that looks like them, it's a comfort that comes along with that, and where they don't feel judged, and they feel like, well, you can really hear my story, you can understand what's really legitimately going on, and many of us, as I mentioned earlier, we have similar backgrounds too. And as being an African American male, being able to talk to the youth, the guys, they can look at you and be like, all right, he's cool, he's all right with me, and they know that specifically the males, and even with the females, we have to be mindful of the females too, because some of them do not have father figures, and so since they don't have father figures, this is their first opportunity to see a African American male who is doing something positive and that's going to go out of his way to help them and to ensure that their well-being is established. That means a lot to them, and that gives them a positive outlook on, okay, not all men are so bad anyway. So I think that representation is truly important, and that sometimes people may negatively judge us because they just don't understand us. And we have to make sure that we're in droves in this field so that when we're working with the population, they can say, well, hey, I'm comfortable going to this person because they at least get where I'm coming from.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Agree.
Thank you so much. This next question is going to be regarding just some feedback from the community and just looking at different data and all of that. So you all as social workers, I consider you more boots on the ground staff. What do you think it's going to take to truly eliminate the stigma when it comes to mental health in the community? So just even maybe people feel more comfortable, or do you think we've already past that and people are comfortable, we just need to look more into strengthening the profession? So I'd love to hear from you all who actually work in behavioral and mental health. Do you think we've, are we past that hurdle of the stigma? Do you see that we've made progress, or where should we truly focus on when it comes to community? And I will start with Belinda. Sorry, I didn't say who I was starting with. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. I say that we're making progress. I do still see the stigma, especially around men, Black men. A lot of Black men find it hard to get in tune with their feelings, express their feelings, talk about mental health. I think it stemmed from when they were younger, where they say, stop crying. You're a boy. Boys are not supposed to cry. Boys are not supposed to get in their feelings. And as they get older, they shelve that stuff inside, and then it gets to a point where they explode. And I think they should know that it's okay to talk about your feelings. It's okay to admit that you're sad. It's okay to admit that you're depressed, and it's okay to go talk to people. And I always like to encourage, and I reach out to I have brothers, so I reach out to my brothers and my male friends and like, how's your mental health today? How are you feeling? Do you need to talk? They can't talk to their friends like a lot of women could go and talk to their friends, and how if we're having a bad day, if we're down, we can talk to our lady friends and express ourselves. But men don't have that venue. They don't have that outlet to be able to do that, because they'll be labeled as weak. And as I look at, social media, and you see like some Black men, they're venting, and, you see a lot of people laughing at them and talking about them. And it's like, and it's okay to express yourself, and it's okay, and let them know that it's okay to go to a therapist.
Thank you, Belinda. Like to hear from Sean. Sean X.
I think we're making some leapways when it comes to mental health and accessing it. It's a lot better than it was 10, 15 years ago. I think it can get better. And I think one of the ways that we can make it better is just normalizing it a little bit more. And how we normalize it is like, since we're a people that we're real big into being entertained. And I think that those entertainment outlets, when you see different activists within the culture, you see like LeBron James, or even like, since we just had this political election, when you had Beyonce, if you see people like that within the community that's talking about how they access mental health services and how it made them feel better, I think for the general population, it makes us like, oh, okay, if they did it, then we can do it. I think we're people we're kind of impressionable, generally speaking. And so when we see people that we truly admire and we see them access those kinds of services, then we make it okay for ourselves. Like, okay, if they did it, then we can do it. And I think that is getting better. But we still have some ways to go. And I like how Belinda mentioned, with African American men, the stigma of us being soft or weak when we express our feelings, that's a real thing. And I think that we have to be okay and comfortable within our skin and be like, you know what, it is. We do get sad. We do become upset. And I think what we see within the community in particular, you may see rage and anger within African American men because they prefer to be angry than to be sad, which is, we know that anger is just depression internally, right? That it's turned inward because anger is so destructive to the person. But if we can just learn to be like, it's okay to be sad, but I'm going to do something about it, that's still powerful, right? So I think that, men need to know that it's okay to be sad and depressed, as long as you have a plan to do something about it to get out of that depression, and you have people around you or professionals that can help you work through it. So, yeah, I think that messaging needs to really get out more and more. And, it's going to take people like us here on this panel and those who are here listening to be like, let's talk to our loved ones, our family, and our friends and say, hey, it's okay.
Thanks, Sean.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Karen.
So mental health messaging is very important at today. You have individuals who don't go to the doctor, and then when they go to the doctor, they may be ill. So they're addressing the acute need, but the follow-up is lax. So when a male or a female goes to the doctor without an established relationship, they don't express their feelings. And the physician, depending on who it is, usually majority versus minority, doesn't really want to hear their story. So when you can't express how you're feeling or what's going on at home, what's going on the job, what's going on in your relationships, then it's hard to have somebody identify what's really what really can be helpful. And I know right now that say for instance programming, you might have programming at for youth, and then you might pull in the mother of the single parent home, or if the father isn't living in the home, you might be able to pull the father in. And then you have the unit. So you have mother, father, child, children. Well, more of these services are geared towards the children and the mother, and they leave the father out. And so, say for instance, with infant mortality, right now there's programming in Hamilton County that identifies the mother, but doesn't pull in the father. so that father doesn't have grief and loss associated with losing his child. So, uh, us as a community, we have a lot of us out here working and working hard, but we are not, in many instances, not as unified as we need to be for the common good. And at some point, that's going to, it needs to happen for us. It really does. We have to stand up for our own community. We have to stand up for our own needs. And just something as simple as being able to communicate with your primary care provider. You know, go to the doctor, see your doctor. The men's programming or the women's initiatives that are, go see your doctor. Go see a doctor. Get your loved one to take your loved one to the doctor day and those kinds of things. Learn how to communicate with people about how you're feeling and get the help you need. But I'll stop.
Thank you.
Okay.
That was good. Robert.
I think we've made great strides with mental health. Like awareness is through the roof these days, and even participation. Like there's just a lot of folks that are actively involved in taking better care of their mental health. I think one of the our agency has just been wildly successful with our young adults is helping them understand that mental health is pervasive in every aspect of their lives. It's just not at work or at school or at home. It's relationships and it's everything. And so helping them understand that, and also that there's so much more to mental health and counseling and therapy than just rehashing old hurts and pains. Trauma is a really big deal, especially in the population of people that we work with. But so many of our young adults have been way more interested in participating when we let them know that, hey, we don't have to stay there. Let's talk about how it's affecting your future and how it's keeping you from being able to focus at school. Let's talk about how it's your mental health is causing you a tons of relational issues and anger outbursts and things like that. So we can start working on the future instead of dwelling on the past. And because of that, we've taken some major strides with young adults and their mental health, and we are just super excited for them and just these opportunities.
Thank you. I am going to ask you all, what advice would you give to aspiring Black social workers? So those young people who see you all and like, hey, this is exactly what I want to do when I grow up. What are some good advice to give them on the road to becoming a social worker and staying in the field? Because I know it's challenging staying in the field as well. So, and I will start with, I'll open it up to whoever would like to go first.
I'll start. I think self-care is everything. I mean, this job is heavy in every aspect, whether it's medical, mental health, DD, wherever you are in social work, it's heavy. And if you do not take care of yourself, over my years, I've watched so many social workers that have just come in and just burned out so fast. Because they just got so engulfed in the job that they forgot about themselves and they forgot about their family and they forgot about their kids, and it's really really important that we take care of ourselves. We do things that takes our mind and our spirit off of the job. And so my dad used to always say, you can't be good to anybody unless you're good to yourself. And so actually I would say that self-care is everything.
Thank you.
And go on, Belinda.
Okay, I will go. So I would say, take your time. Sometimes we get so anxious to get out in the field and get to working, and that we'll start moving so fast, and then we get overwhelmed and we get burnt out. And as well as don't take work home. So that I used to take my work home all the time, especially working with adolescents, working at juvenile court, meeting with a kid, and then you thinking about, is he going to listen to what you say? So you at home worrying about work, and it could be so consuming, and then you're venting to your friends and your significant other. It could be so consuming where it's like you have no like line between professional life and personal life, and then you get so overwhelmed, and then you're screaming, I need a mental health day, I need a mental health day, and then you're taking vacation because you're so overwhelmed and you're so stressed. And it's like, take your time. We have a lifetime to help. There's always going to be people out there that you can help. Don't try to rush into it.
Thank you.
And I will add passion. What do you have a passion for? Where do you best see yourself suited to do what you want to do? And you will immerse yourself and you'll be good at it. But just like Robert said, you still have to take care of yourself. Like Belinda said, you can't take the work home, but you still have passion for what you do. I worked at Hospice of Cincinnati for 27 years. So for 27 years, I was totally immersed in death and dying. Now, is that something I thought I was supposed to be doing as a young UC grad? Not necessarily. But remember, I wasn't a young graduate. I was a seasoned, mature graduate, close to 40 years old. So working in that field was something that was predestined for me to do, and I was passionate about it. And I loved the work I did. And it's not just about death and dying, it was about supporting individuals who are going on their journey, supporting their family, supporting last wishes, making people have joy at their end of life experience. So to me, it was very rewarding. And I was passionate about it, and I'm still passionate about it. So now I'm in mental health, and it's a different passion, but I know my community needs help, and I work in my community for a reason. And it doesn't have anything to do with my choices. It's more of my destiny.
I if I would tell someone, make sure it comes from the heart. Make sure that you don't do it for the money. Do it from the heart. And when you know that you're changing people's outcome, you're changing people and making their life better, that's the reward. Where someone tells you, you saved my life just by listening, or you know, you took the time to hear me out. Now I feel a lot better than what I felt before I started talking to you. I think that just go into it with the mindset that you're there to help people and make their situation better. But I love what Robert and Belinda and Karen said when it comes to self-care. You have to make sure you take care of yourself. You have to, and well, I'll say this too with the profession. The profession is very versatile. Social work is. So if you're in, you could diversify it, meaning that maybe if you're in the mental health and you're like, I've done this for 5 to 10 years. Maybe I want to do something different with the degree. Do that. Do something that's a little lighthearted. Mix it up a little bit because it can be a lot. And my father, who inspired me, he was a licensed social worker, and I saw how there was times where he brought it home in the sense of I can tell something bothered him because he talked. I remember he told me, I was 16 years old. He told me how he talked to a mother who recently lost her son, and how devastating it was to hear her cry. And he was on the phone. And so when he talked to me about it, he had a moment where he cried because it really bothered him. He was vicariously living her trauma. And so we just have to make sure that, like, if you're providing therapeutic services, make sure that you have your therapist for yourself too, in a sense of like, I'm really dealing with a lot, talking with these various folk and trying to help them. You have to make sure you take care of yourself. Self-care is one of the most important things you can do as a social worker, because statistically speaking, within the first 18 months, you're experiencing burnout instantly. And so you have to find a way to have an outlet to best serve your needs as well.
Thank you, Sean. And you kind of shared, oh, are we?
Yeah, I just have
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ashley. Sorry to jump in here.
Oh, that's
So,
okay.
Sean, burnout, and I think a follow-up question I got is, how did you, because you all have been in this profession for a long time. How did you all prevent yourself from burning out?
You don't. I mean, you're gonna get burnt out. And so that's when that self-care come in, where you say, okay, I need to take some time and not and distinguish myself from work. Let me separate myself from work and let me focus on doing things that I love to do, things that I want to do, and then regroup and go back. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, you're gonna get burnt out. You're gonna be like, oh my God, why did I pick this? You're receiving everybody else trauma, and it consumes you and it overwhelms you. So then that's when you have to step back and be like, okay, let me focus on myself. I've been pouring into other people. Let me pour back into myself.
And Maurice, I think everybody needs a mentor. I mean, I've been really, really fortunate on this job to just be surrounded by folks that pour into me. So as I pour myself out, folks are investing in me and digging into me and really helping and support me. Like there's a lot of this job that is too big for one person. And sometimes we try to move mountains by ourselves, and it works so much better in a team. And so I've been really blessed to be working with just some really, really dynamic social workers, but just people that know a lot and support me and encourage me and so I don't have to take it home.
Mhm. And for me, as much as I did 27 years with hospice work, I worked at University Hospital in the emergency room as well. So there's a lot that I take on, but I love the work I do. So yeah, you can call it burnout, but I know I need to go get a massage. I know I need to go get a pedicure. I know I need to take a vacation. I know I need to go see a movie. Whatever it takes for me to take care of myself. And I'm just like Robert, I have some of the most fabulous friends and family who support me through it all. If I need to cry, if I need to talk, I've got somebody I can turn to. So I have not burned out yet. And so far I feel good about what I do. I still love what I do. I'm very passionate about working again in my community.
Thank you. Thank you, Robert. Sean.
I'll say that for me, it's relying on my higher power, and really relying on God in the sense of like making sure that I pray and that I use some form of meditation, which prayer can be a form of meditation, and then mindfulness too. Like I did a presentation on mindfulness yesterday. You know, being in the moment, becoming grounded, and whatever you're doing at the time, do that at the time. Meaning, don't think about what you got to do in the next 10 minutes or what you didn't do 10 minutes ago. Focus on the right now and just be in the moment. So if you're listening to music, really listen to your music. Don't let anything disturb that or compromise that. I think that's really helpful for me. Has really been helpful for me in the past 15 years working in mental health services and DD services. Just really just removing myself from all that I have to do and what I didn't do, or just being in the moment, being present. And that's really, really helpful for me. I love listening to music and put my headphones on, or just getting away, or going downstairs to work out a little bit. I can't be away too long because my wife needs help with the children. But even if it's like 30 minutes to an hour where I could just have my time to myself, is really beneficial and it really helps me out. And yeah, I people have they're finding their own avenues of how to self-care and how to deal with, the stresses of being a social worker, but that's something that really legitimately works for me.
All right. I think we can open it up to the questions in the chat now, Maurice. Do you want me to read those off for you? How do
I
you want?
don't see any questions in the chat. So what I'm going to do actually is I am going
There is
to,
one. There is one.
as a
It's
suggestion.
well, yeah, the last one. Well,
Yes.
asking them if they, yeah.
What was, okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to allow people to unmute themselves. And if there's
Okay.
anyone that would like to unmute themselves, please do so and ask your questions.
I have a question.
Oh, go ahead. Okay.
My name is Antoinette, and I'm a student at UC. I'm in my senior year bachelor's. I was in education. Can you all hear me?
We can.
Okay. I was in education. I transferred from Cincinnati State. I earned an early childhood education degree as well as a paralegal degree with Cincinnati State. So what pulled me towards, and I'm in my later years in life, like I'm in my second half of life. I'm an empty nester. I'm a grandparent now. But I came over to social work because I used to be a foster parent, and then in the schools I worked in and on my own child care center, I seen so many, like you all said, African American families struggling with resources and identity or how to um, communicate their trauma or what they needed. And so I came over into social work, but my question was, um, how do we, how can do we have to wait till we earn our degree to be a part of the Black Social Work Association?
Are you speaking of NABSW?
Yes.
I do not know of NABSW being an active social work organization any longer,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Okay.
Now, there is NASW, but I don't know of NABSW being active right now.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. That was the question I had. Thank you.
Is that a Karen, a question I will follow up? Is that like a recent thing, or is that something that's
Well,
been like this for a
I
while?
know
Or
I seen something that the campus sent out about a Black Social Work Association to our emails when we first enrolled in our classes.
I'm going to Google it right now.
and Sean, Belinda, Robert, anything from your, or even Ashley?
I was just going to say, I do feel like I have a few board members who are part of it. I don't know to what extent or what work they're actively doing, but I think they have a chapter in Ohio.
It's still active.
Yeah.
It's still active. You can Google it, and no, you do not have to be a graduate to get involved with them.
Okay.
But it is
Okay.
still active, yes.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Please unmute yourself.
I don't. Hi, my name is Marla Givens. I don't
Hi,
have a
Marla.
question. Hi, but I have a comment. Um, oh, I can't. Sorry. I'm familiar with a lot of you there. You do great work. It's so awesome to see everybody on and still doing their thing.
Hi,
Uh,
Marla.
Hi, Karen. How are you?
Good, good.
Good. I am on because I'm a part of the UC alumni, the School Social Work Alumni Board, and I'm wondering why you all aren't on the board, any of you, because we could really use you on the board, and I love to see you on the board. Karen and I, we went to graduate school together. It was a great time there with Dr. Jackson um, and I worked throughout the city doing various things here and there. I since have retired from Cincinnati Public. I was down at juvenile court for a while. as well, but I'm still very active in other things throughout the city. And the alumni board is going through some changes now. But we this is a great time to be a part of the alumni committee. We're trying to do great things. We want to get students active, and we need support. So I'm hoping that I could get someone to come and join me on the board. If you're interested, if you can shoot me your email, I can make sure that I get it to Maurice, or we can figure out a way to do it. But we're looking for some new blood, and it's not cumbersome. We're not going to work you to death. It's just here and there. We do things like the annual alumni board awards and events here and there. It's just to support the social workers that have graduated from UC. And we just love to have you guys come out.
And I would love to assist you.
I would love to see you.
Yes.
That's one of four. Let's see if we can get
Yeah, Maurice, feel free to share my
uh-oh.
email as well.
That's two or
Yeah.
four,
I just sent my email to you.
three or
Oh,
four.
that's awesome.
I'm open as well, so yeah.
Oh, sure. All right, there we go.
Yay.
Okay. Perfect.
That's awesome. Awesome. Okay. I was so happy to see this when this came through my email, and things like this will also, I think, help with burnout. I mean, it's so important to support, the work that is done out there so we can keep, everybody working and, not getting burnout if we can avoid it. But I understand everything everybody's saying. Good to see everyone.
Thank you, Marla. And I'm actually going to call out my colleague, Shelly Johnson. Shelly, you mind jumping on really quickly? And Shelly, can you talk about, I think you got to unmute you. I can't hear you. Sorry, I'll let her get that together. But Shelly, she's overseeing our alumni engagement activities from the UC Alumni Association perspective at the College of Allied Health Sciences. Shelly, you there? So yes, so with that, she would definitely be the person I would also connect you all with to help y'all get involved. And I think I see great potential, great opportunity. And there are great. We have a good number of Black social work alumni in our system, and definitely want to get you involved and get you connected. So, um, but if you do, we'll get the email addresses to Shelley and everyone, and go from there. Anyone else got any other questions? Feel free to unmute yourself. Got a few minutes left here.
Hi, this is Rebecca Ranford.
Hey, Rebecca, how are you?
Hi, I'm well. How are you guys?
Doing well.
My question is in the chat. So I was just curious if there were any suggestions as far as where to find and recruit families willing to foster, as well as Black staff. As you all know, the numbers are real disproportionate. The kids I serve do not look like the families and staff that are serving them. And I'm real aware that system mistrust is an issue that I'm fighting as well. But if there are any suggestions on where I can find the people to do the things that I need them to do, I'm here for it.
Yeah, Rebecca, that's a challenge that we face in every aspect of our agency. We do foster care, independent living, and home-based mental health services at Choices Inc. And the big challenge is finding Black social workers, Black foster parents that want to participate and want to be active and be involved. I hope we figure this out soon because it's really tough. I think the situation, I think it could help tremendously if we had these folks in these positions to support our young people and to offer guidance and love and support. But we have tried, church organizations, just every social aspect, whether it be, you know, ball games, church events, flea markets, barbecue rallies, like everything under the sun to recruit foster parents. And we've been really intentional to be looking at African American families and I'd love to say that we were successful, but we just haven't been.
Yeah, we've had the same experience. I was just hopeful maybe somebody has figured out how to successfully make that happen.
Maybe we need to all just come together collectively and like brainstorm and find different avenues and how to make this happen because it's an ongoing issue and it's been an ongoing issue for a while and as Robert said and so maybe maybe having another a platform like this maybe we can start figuring out how we can put our thoughts and minds together and make something happen. Because we don't need to just leave it on the table and say, we don't know what to do. Well,
Yeah,
I think we got the answer, right? We just got it may take a while for us to get to the answer, but we can all collectively come together. And I'm sure we can find a answer, a solution to this ongoing issue.
And I'm sorry, let me jump in here real quick. Rebecca, do you have a number of how many foster parents you need? Because I used to I used to do some work with Cincinnati Youth Collaborative, and one of the messages that we started putting out is that, hey, we have 100 kids in need for mentors. And that kind of helped us a lot. And people say, oh, well, let me put a number in that. You attach a number to it sometimes. Sometimes it can move people to want to do to do that work. So is there like a number that you know of as far as number of foster? And Robert, I know you said you all need foster parents as well. Is there a number that you know?
So it's hard to put a number on it. Honestly, the answer is unlimited. I truly never know what kids are coming into the program. I have absolutely no way to predict it. But my program currently has 130 plus families, and I want to say like less than 20% of that population is representative of anyone other than the majority. So any number is truly the answer, but I definitely get like if we are recruiting or marketing to put if you're putting a call to action out there, put a number on it. I could definitely see that. Anything is helpful at this point.
If someone can send me, so I had earlier this year started a process with an organization called SAFI, and
Is
it
that
wasn't a
SAFY?
yes,
Okay.
and they turned me away. They were really rude. I had everything, and I, in fact, I showed them that I used to be licensed with Hamilton County, and that my son graduated from LaSalle in May. That was the last kid in my house, but I was opening up my home because I know that there's not a lot of homes for our youth. Like I was working in Montgomery County at their JFS, and there's kids just like all over the county where parents will come in there crying because they couldn't get to visit their children. They would have to do a Zoom visit. So, there was a clinician that told me like, hey, well, you don't match. Like we don't feel like you'll be a match for us. Like it's not for you. It's for our youth. And so they closed the door. Like it was like because I was calling them out on some of their things. Like, hey, that's not okay. This is not okay. This is not how it's supposed to be. I was asking them like I think for some bunk beds, and they wouldn't provide them. I'm like, well, Hamilton County will provide beds back then. I said, but that's no problem. I'll get someone to donate. I got somebody to donate the beds, and then they came back with something else. And then anybody that I speak to that's affiliated with this agency, they say this agency wreaks havoc on African American individuals who try to become foster parents or who are foster parents. Like sometimes these agencies are pushing us away.
That's
It's not that we don't want to be there for the youth. They're pushing us away.
Well, that's terrible. I know of a place that isn't like that, and I don't want to jump in front of Rebecca here and all that. But if you're in Dayton, Ohio,
Oh,
which
I'm in
is where our
Cincinnati.
home office is, Equidad Choices Incorporated.
Okay, I'm
Is
in Cincinnati though. I live in Cincinnati.
okay. Well, I am in Cincinnati right now, and so Rebecca, share your information with her because that sounds like an amazing resource. And if it doesn't work out with Rebecca, holla at your boy, right? Like,
Gotcha.
Okay,
Gotcha.
it sounds great. Yeah, I don't, our children, they need safe space. They need
Absolutely.
absolutely.
to know that
Absolutely.
they can have a safe home, a safe person. Like it is baffling that there's no homes. There's nobody willing to step up and be a village for our youth anymore. So like, I was trying to do that, but hey, I got y'all.
Yeah,
All right.
listen, I am a manager at Choices Incorporated, and so I can speak to the culture of our spot. And again, uh,
Okay,
that will not be your experience with our agency. And I'm looking at Rebecca, and I'm pretty darn sure that won't be your experience there either. And so we love Black families. We know that we need them desperately. Need
okay,
Black
yeah.
families, Black mentors, Black mamas, Black fathers that will just get it active and involved and just love these kids to pieces. Um, uh,
Awesome.
we're there.
No, awesome. And I see
Thank
Shelly
you.
is thank you, Ms. Burns. I see Shelly is back. Shelly, you want to say a quick thing about alumni engagement for Allied Health Sciences? Uh-oh. I think you're oh, it did it again. Hold on. Yeah, try to speak again, Shelly. I don't know. Nope. Yeah. If you want to put it in the chat, that'd be cool. But anyone else have any other questions as we get close to the end here?
I
Or
need
Karen?
I need contact information from Marla.
Okay, we'll get that to you.
I had
Are
a
you,
question.
oh, excuse me, are you thinking of making us a group by chance, like a email group or
Yes,
connecting us?
I'll make a connection through email. Yes.
Okay.
Awesome.
And I did have a question regarding the foster parent. Do you all think that there's even do you think trauma goes into that or stigma goes into that? Because I know growing up, um, I didn't hear the best things about being a foster parent or even the kids who were in the foster system. So do you think to recruit more people who look like us, there needs to be some education and maybe more people would sign up? Do you think it's that barrier of either we don't feel adequate enough or maybe they've had a bad experience or know of someone who's had a bad experience? Do you all want to speak to why you think we're not signing up to be foster parents?
I think that definitely plays a role, but I also think just the nature of foster care in and of itself can be tricky, especially for Black families. So I'm the program director here. We are in your business. Like, this is not a private keep it in the family situation. Like, I am in it. The interviews are intense. I'm writing it down. I'm putting it in a system. You don't know me, I don't know you. Like, there's a trust situation. And also then all that information has to be spoken to, to county, to other agencies, whatever the case may be. So I think that also plays a role. We are a heavy rule following agency. So yeah, there are a lot of hoops to jump through too, right? It's not like a typical community situation where you're like, oh, I see this family in need or this kid in need. I'm just going to take them in and do what needs done. You have to follow all the rules and you have a million people in your life and in your business constantly. Like, your house is open for business. So I think that plays a big role as well. But also, yes, the experience of the Black community in foster care in and of itself is just, historically not a good time. So I think some of that education is necessary and to remove some of that stigma around foster care, because we still see all the time, like, foster care in general has a bad rap in the community.
Yeah, thank you, Rebecca. And then Belinda, I know you're at CPS, and I know previously working with children experiencing homelessness that CPS is experiencing record numbers of children experiencing homelessness, and I'm sure you deal with a lot of children who are in foster situations. Can you speak a little bit to that?
Yes. So being the resource coordinator, I bring, partnerships and resources into the school. So I deal with a lot of families who either are homeless or on the verge of being homeless. And what I can say is with the Black population, not too many families are willing to open up about having an issue, needing help. They want to keep it within their home and try to fix it themselves. And so rarely do I have like the parents or the guardians come to me, especially the African American parents come to me. I get more of the student. The student will come to me and say, I need this, I need that. And I will ask, like, well, what's going on at home? Do you need any help at home? And then I would get that information from the child and I would reach out to the parent to see what else that I can help them with. So like for the past couple of years that I've been at Withrow, I created this snack drive, like during the holiday break for Christmas and spring break. And like my principal wanted to do a food drive. And it's like, don't no one want to do a food drive. All people do is bring in food that out of their cabinets that they don't want. And the kids is not going to eat that. It's not going to eat that. And they rely on us for food. So they come to school for lunch and for breakfast. And so what I did was I created a snack drive, and I have Hyde Park community residents and council. They donate a bunch of different snacks. It could be healthy snacks. It could just be something where I can give the kids a shopping bag of food to take home for the 2 weeks that they're gone for Christmas break and for the week that they're gone for spring break. And it's been growing. Like my first year, I did like 42. And then I did like 50 something. And then last year I got up to 65. So they just saying that there's a total need of families that really need help. And so once these kids come home with things, I do have parents who would email me or reach out and say, hey, Christmas time coming around, can you help with food, or I need help with scarves and coats and clothing. We back to a uniform school, so they need help with uniforms. So I get a lot of partners that donate money or uniforms so that I can give out to the kids that are in need. But I think the problem is the parent feeling embarrassed to say that they have an issue at home.
Yeah, I agree. I think that I like what Rebecca said in the chat there. Historically speaking, there's been an issue with African American people, obviously, in systems. Period, and it's legitimate too. It's not like it's you know what I mean. It's a legitimate issue, and we get judged. So, like we like to take care of things ourselves. We don't really want to deal with anything systemic, and because of the scrutiny behind it. Whereas, our white counterparts, and I'm keeping 100 right here and authentic, they rely on a system far greater than what African Americans do. It don't look like it, but they do because they are incentivized. We are not incentivized. And so since we're not incentivized, we're like reluctant, like, oh, they're just going to pry into our lives and try to find something out and try to make our lives difficult. Where they, on the other hand, they get perks. They get perks out this world. And you'd be surprised how many of them have money and they still get perks because they're able to find ways to get these incentives from the government, where we are like, when we try, it's like going through all these hoops and, it's like, it's so difficult. And so I think that we have a trust issue historically and systemically. And so that's why I think we stay away from anything that's going to cause them to pry into our lives in any form of fashion. So maybe the government, maybe they need to fix their stuff and how they do things concerning us so that we can feel obliged to say, all right, well, we're okay with adopting and getting involved. Until then, we're going to always be reluctant. And then what happened last night, that's going to even make us even more reluctant to like, oh, look who's in office again. So our trust we got to build some trust with the community, with our government overall. And that's going to take some time.
Absolutely. Well said.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I got one final time for one final question, and then we'll wrap it up. All right. So with that, I'm going to share my screen really quickly one more time. Let me do this. Great. Can y'all see that?
No.
Here we go, right there. Got to hit share. All right. So with that, if you want to get involved, as we mentioned previously, with the African American Alumni Affiliate or the College of Allied Health Sciences, namely the Social Workers Board, please contact myself by my email there, which is maurice.stewart@foundation.uc.edu, or Shelly Johnson, shelly.johnson@foundation.uc.edu. And I'll be sharing the emails and things that I have received, and I'll share the panelist information as well with you, Shelly and Marla. And with that, I want to thank you all. Many of you are alumni, but thank you all to our UC community and folks for joining us on this panel this November 6th day. So I do wish you all the greatest. And if I can have the panelists stay on, I want to do a screenshot photo of that. But for everyone else, I want to thank you all for attending and wish you all a great rest of your week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.